Hey guys, I'm back. Thank you for joining me once again. I wanted to go through some orchid updates with you guys today. There's some cool stuff going on with my plants that I wanted to show off and document. So thanks for watching, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first up here is my Zygo, which I started showing you guys in the last video I posted, but not all of the flowers had opened yet, so here it is in full bloom. This is crazy. I got 3 spikes on one growth. I usually only ever see 2. Pretty nuts. I wish they were kind of like more spread out or something for a bit of a better display, but it's still gorgeous. This growth only had 1. Very nice, very fragrant. It smells awesome. Love it. One of my favorites. My friend Eric on here asked for a look at my Staghorn Fern to see how it's been doing since I mounted it. If you didn't see the video where I kind of did a tutorial on mounting epiphytes, you can go back and watch that. Doing well. I think it had a couple like little tiny leaves drop, just old small leaves, so I think it's doing fine. What do you think? It looks good to me. It hasn't been that long, so it's kind of hard to really see much difference. This foul, that's still going strong. Here is my Sheila Token, which actually spent most of the summer outside, and it seemed to really like it. 3 flowers isn't a lot for these guys. They can produce huge sprays of flowers, but this one I bought from a big box store. It wasn't like the healthiest when I first bought it, so it's kind of recovering, so I'm not surprised that it is underperforming a little bit, but it's got more new growths coming in too, so that's good. My Cycnodes Wine Delight finally dropped its flowers. I cut the spike off. Last year it kind of bloomed like again in the fall. It put out like another little flower spike, so I'm not sure if it'll do that this year, but who knows. Alright, this is another little section of windowsill plants. I usually skip over this in my videos because there's usually just not all that much going on here, but thought I'd give you guys a peek today. There's a really cool, good looking keiki on this dendrobium. So I thought I would maybe do a video on how to handle keikis, like cutting them off and repotting them and whatnot. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll probably be doing that shortly. This is my Miltoniopsis Pink Lemonade, which has like 3 or 4 new growths coming in on the back there. A little bit of accordion leaf going on. I could be a little bit better about watering it, but it's doing fine. This is my Burtfield's Eileen, the one with the really gorgeous red flowers. A couple new growths coming in on that. It's a bit of a sparse looking plant. It definitely needs to fill out a bit. It's got 2 new growths, so I'm hoping it'll get a bit bushier. I really love Miltoniopsis foliage when they're well grown. They look really awesome. And then this is another Miltoniopsis. Yeah, it's that Andrea West one. I repotted it recently and it seems to be doing good. It's got a nice fragrance too. These flowers are old. They're getting ready to fall off, but hopefully we'll get some new growths and reblooms on that someday. Over here, that's a new little Oncidium type. I broke part of the flower spike off, but it's got nice little yellow flowers. I'll show that to you guys when it blooms. This is my, what is it, Miltonia Sunset. Keeps throwing out new little spikes with just like couple flowers on it, 2 or 3 flowers, but that's cool. It's got more new growth coming in, so I'm sure it'll put up better bloom displays in the future. And this is a Zygo, I think, what is it? Advance Australia. It's doing well. It hasn't bloomed in a while. It put out a few new growths that didn't bloom, but that's okay. It's got nice bushy foliage, which I like. Alright, let's jump over to my grow shelves. That's where all the action happens. Okay, up first here is my Bulbophyllum Tingabarium. This thing's pretty cool. Flower spike right here. This hasn't quite opened all the way. It'll elongate and spread out a bit. It did bloom on another spike recently that just fell. I meant to film a little clip about that, but I can insert a picture of it. I did photograph it, so. And it seems to be continuing to bloom, so you'll probably get another look at the flowers sometime in the future. Little hazel red jewel, a wonderful little mini cat with like these bright red flowers, and it's in bud. It's got 2 growths. Each one has spike coming in. It looks like a lot less flowers than I got last year. Or not last year, it actually wasn't that long ago when it bloomed previously. I think it was like kind of over the winter. It had a ton more flowers. There was like 7 buds on each spike for like a total of like 14 flowers, which was really awesome. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. This summer's been really hot. I think the cooler temperatures are a bit easier on it, so I think when it blooms kind of in the winter or fall or spring, it tends to have a nicer bloom display. I'll show you that one when it blooms. Here is my Cattleya Chienya red apple. This one I got more flowers this time than I usually do. I think there's 3 on each spike. This thing's really gorgeous. If you want one, go to Norman's Orchids. They're always like really cheap or like on sale. I don't know if it's just because it's like an older hybrid or something, but it's a really affordable one. I think it's usually only like $20 or something like that. It's really nice. It's lightly fragrant, nothing too special, but the color is really nice. It's sort of like this pink, but it's like a pinky red, like a cool magenta color. Very nice. My cute little Rupiculus Laelia, which is kind of new. I repotted it into a little clay pot, which they usually like. I have it kind of sitting in another pot just to keep it kind of stable. My Angraecum leonis is doing well. It's pushing out a new leaf there. My Walkeriana, which I think is some variation of like cerulean or something. It's really not the standard Walkeriana color. Putting out some new growths, and I think it's actually starting to push out in different directions, so I'm hoping it'll kind of fill out a bit. It was really kind of growing just this way, which, you know, is pretty typical for Cattleyas, but if you're lucky, they'll kind of put out multiple leads and spread out a little bit, so I'm hoping that's what this will do, because I'd really like to get multiple leads on it and multiple flower spikes and get a nice big display. I think I could get this thing judged maybe. Let's see. This is my Angraecum Dideri, which is in spike there, but the spikes take forever to mature, so I'm not sure when that will be blooming, but at least we got something to look forward to. Really wonderful fragrance on all Angraecums. Here is a Paf. It's a no ID, but it's like a Paf Maudier green. It's one of those really standard Pafs. Nothing too fancy, but I do like it. This is my first time reblooming it, at least in a while. I forget when the last time it flowered was, but it's been a minute. And it's doing well, so that's cool. Can't wait to see that. My little Angraecum equitans is so cute. And back here, spike on my big denfowl. It's like I guess a bigibbum type, and it's got really nice kind of like purpley blue flowers. Obviously not like true blue, but it's just a very bluish purple that I really love. And I'm not sure if this front growth has a spike on it yet. I don't think so, but we'll see. What else? Everything's got new growths on it. That's another really cool Cattleya back there. I guess that's it up here. Let's jump down to the bottom shelf. Catacetals that are almost ready to bloom. This one here is a Cycnoches with these really awesome yellow flowers that are really cool. I can't wait for that one to bloom. It's got an awesome fragrance too. Really nice. This one has 2 spikes. There's another one in the back there that's kind of hard to see. This one is Midnight Lace Cross Frilly Doris. I have bloomed this before, but it was like a really small spike and the flowers came out kind of like mutated and like underdeveloped, so I didn't really get like a good grasp of like what the blooms actually look like. This year it looks like it's gonna be a way better bloom display. So I'm excited to see what the flowers look like. My big, huge Angraecum Lemford White Beauty, which is a cross between Angraecum sesquipedale, if I'm saying that right, and Magdalene. Hoping this will bloom for me soon. They're like a late summer, early fall bloomer, but I haven't seen any sign of it yet, so I'm not getting my hopes up too high. But it's doing well. I'm sure if it doesn't bloom this year, it'll bloom next year. Over here, I got more Veitchiana flowers. This one's pretty old, and it's starting to sort of curl up and dry up. Still pretty cool looking, but the flowers are way nicer when they first open. But I have a couple other spikes coming here. I actually have two now. This is like a slightly different variety here, but these are both Masdevallia Veitchiana. And this flower goes with this one, and this goes with the other. So I actually have two slightly different varieties of Veitchiana that are about to bloom, and they'll be in flower at the same time, so I can kind of compare them, which will be cool, so that's exciting. And back here, just opening up, is my cat Schilleriana cross Brassavola nodosa. Oh, I think it's called like Mary Dodson. It's pretty nice. It's definitely got like a Brassavola shape, but it gets that nice purple veining in the lip from the Cattleya Schilleriana, and it's really cool. It's not quite opened all the way yet. I'll show you guys once it opens properly. It's got a really nice fragrance too, and they're nighttime fragrant because of the nodosa, which it gets, I think, most of its influence from. Nodosa always seems to be a really strong parent that way. And then over here was my Frag Incan Treasure. It bloomed, and then the bloom faded, and I never got around to filming about it. So I did take some pictures and stuff. I will insert those here now. And it actually has a second bud coming in as well, so it'll be in flower again soon. At that time, maybe I'll get my act together and actually film a video about it. It was gorgeous, and the flower didn't last very long. I think that's partially because of the heat. It's the summertime, and these light fixtures get pretty hot, and the flower is pretty tall, so it was kind of close to the lights. So I bet that's partially why it didn't last all that long. One day they just fall off, and you don't even see it coming really, because they'll fall off while the flower still kind of looks decent. So it's kind of weird. One day you just find it on the ground. It's kind of strange, but the cool thing about these frags is they typically have at least, you know, 2 flowers on the spike. So that's cool. But that is just about everything for now. I just wanted to check in and say hi and show off some flowers for you guys. But I have some more kind of culture videos and tutorials and more kind of interesting stuff coming. So sorry these videos have just been kind of like casual updates, but I have some cool stuff planned. So stick around, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.